think in reality, if we look back at the year, I know that we've got a lot of growth in our rugby, and while we were happy with a lot of the stuff that we did, I think there's a lot of stuff that we're unhappy with. And certainly when we were in the last game, we probably missed out on the finals by a try in the last minute of the game against the Highlanders. Wasikina Hollow made an unbelievable tackle in the corner on Jack Maddox. And that really stung at the time. I think there was a couple of tears and things from guys in the change room. But in reality, I actually think that's been a really good thing for us, because I think, first of all, it's showed that people genuinely care. But I think the second part of that is that it's made us look at what we need to change and what we need to improve going forward much more thoroughly and much more honestly than we might otherwise have done had we gone one more game and made it through to the playoffs. So in some ways I'm kind of pleased that it ended where it is, because I know that after 1 year we're not ready to win Super Rugby. We were never going to be, and I think the reality is, what are we going to change, what are we going to improve in the next couple of months to move closer to that?
Neither. Sanga, Ferretti Sanga, lovely ball in field, the prop connects, gets it to Ross Haylett-Petty. The Melbourne Rebels mean business in 2018. Too good here for the Sharks, full time.
Oh, the inside ball, and they're away again. It is Brent Hall streaking away, opened up like the Red Sea.
Where to for the Melbourne Rebels? They've now conceded 40 points in the second half. It's 40-0 in the second half.
For me personally, I think we had a formula that was working for our game, and in the way that we were preparing. I probably made the mistake of an inexperienced coach, which was to try to move our game forward, to do a few other things at that point, and that just created a lack of clarity in terms of the things that were working and had been working. So that's a big learning for me, And the really nice thing is that that was really pointed out to me by the player leadership group, and they had a pretty honest conversation with me in one of our meetings and came pretty hard at me. But I really appreciated that. I think I'm pleased that that we've created a sort of environment where they feel comfortable to be able to do that. I think if we're all prepared to admit that we're not perfect and keep working at things, and the whole environment keeps moving forward, which is
Melbourne Rebels number 8, Amanaki Mafi, has been granted bail by Dunedin Court after allegedly assaulting his teammate Lepeti Tamani after their loss to the Highlanders on the weekend.
When it initially happened, obviously my first reaction was probably I was angry with those boys for doing that, because in reality I think that our culture has shifted a long way. The rest of the team are in the hotel, sitting together in the team room, watching the next games, and two guys have gone against that and done their own thing, which was, aside from anything, just made me really angry that they prioritised themselves over the team. But then I think over time, my concern has probably shifted to those two individuals and how they get some support around them to kind of make sure that these things don't happen again in their lives, because so as much as I was at the time disappointed for the team, I think my concern now is just how those guys are going, and what their futures are going to look like if they don't find some way to manage some of the off-field concerns that they have. I met with Quade in Brisbane a couple of months ago now, and to be honest, he wasn't what I expected at all. I saw a guy who's just had a passion about the game. He's a pretty deep thinker about the game. Whether some of what he'd been through over the last couple of months has changed him as a person, I can't say, because I didn't know him before. But certainly, the Quade I know comes across as a very enthusiastic, very passionate rugby guy. And so that's exactly the type of guy that we want in our group. I think when we started to speak about the game, which we did for a couple of hours that day, was just found a lot of commonalities in the way that we're thinking about the game. And as I said, in terms of the way that we want to play, which we're pretty clear about, he was saying a lot of the same things. So it was a kind of natural fit there. And I think he's hungry to prove that he's still world class. I mean, everybody knows he's a world class talent. I think the trick now for him is going to be to come here and work hard and to put in world class performances. So we're pretty confident that he's going to go well.